Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is Wednesday, November 20th. This is the Community Development Advisory Committee. And before we start, this meeting is being recorded and broadcast via local cable access, channel WCAT, Facebook, and YouTube. If anyone in the audience is recording, please let us know. Nobody? All right. Let's get started. Well, let's jump right into the master plan, because that's our favorite part. What do you got, Sarah?
Rich, I decided to do my own screen sharing this time, if you want to give me permission.
You did.
Ooh.
I am
Should I let
Sarah
her?
O'Brien.
You can let
You
her.
are, I declare myself.
So this month we have open space and recreation findings.
John?
Multiple participants?
No, it says it's locked by your admin.
Oh, yeah.
Sad.
So that screen's a no-go, I guess.
All right. I tried
We
to help.
tried.
Okay, well, can I go somewhere and get what you're gonna present?
Yep. Can go to, and you should hear this too, warrenmasterplan.com.
I've been there before.
And the document library should have the open space,
All right, where,
so I can leave this meeting then. Cool.
all documents?
So I mentioned last month, we do have our first chapter out for committee review. I know Jim read it. Did anybody else have a chance to read it over?
I skimmed through it. I didn't have a lot of time, so.
Perfect.
That's
I'll tell you now, it's gonna be the longest one.
It is.
The other ones are gonna be shorter.
Okay.
That's a promise.
Okay.
If we have extra time today, we can talk about.
On the meeting? Sorry,
Huh?
I'm talking Rich.
What?
Can you let me in the Zoom meeting? I can't stay, but I want to hear.
Oh, are you,
She's trying to get in.
I don't see her on
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
there.
No
No,
worries.
that's fine. Okay, here you go.
There, you're in now.
Awesome, thank you very much.
All right.
Anytime you'd like, thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about the housing chapter as you all have a chance to read it, but we do have some time.
Okay.
Especially because I know holidays are coming up. Economic development chapter is going to be next, followed by transportation. We can leave comments till after January. I'm fine with that if things get hectic. I'm giving you them 1 month at a time for your own sanity. You have time to read them each individually, but you don't have to if you want to read them all at once. So we'll leave that comment period open. Thank you. On the Excel link that's in this Dropbox folder is a comment sheet. If there's little things that come up that we don't have to talk about as a committee, you could add them in there. We could communicate that way to save time. And then we could bring big ticket items here to talk about changes to the chapter you'd like to see. Cool. But for today, we'll talk about the open space and recreation chapter. And I started with this understanding of what's in this chapter versus next month's chapter, because anybody that was in the open space and recreation plan, which I think Steve was involved in that, maybe, you're on.
I don't recall, but that's okay.
Okay.
There's so many things going on.
No sweat, no sweat. Anybody that read the open space and recreation
Oh,
plan,
yes, that.
it's a little different than how Mass General Law does open space and recreation for the master plan. So a lot of preservation of open space, ecosystems, invasive species, rare species, that kind of nature and environmental discussion is next month. The way we can say for this month to make it easy is open space and recreation chapter is really focused on how people can enjoy Warren's environment, and next month is on just environment, no people. If that
Okay.
makes sense. So this month we talk about trails, waterfront access, recreation, anything the town owns, anything the state owns that the town can use to their benefit, parks, things like that. Cool, so we can get started. Key finding number 1 is getting into improvements for existing recreational offerings. So this is based on what we heard from the workshop and the survey and interviews on top improvements that people would like to see. The bullet points are what this chapter has been focusing on so far, from what we've been seeing is important to Warren residents. If there's something missing from this list that you think should be added as, a key asset that the town can optimize, we could add that now for sure. But we've Dean, Lucy, Cutter, downtown.
What is Wright Park?
That's the one with like the sign in front of it that's gated on 3 sides in West Warren, next to the fire department.
That's McWhitter Park.
Mick Witter?
Witter? Okay.
McWhitter. Quite sure. Yeah, that's the name of it, that's the pronouncing of it.
Is that with a H?
I don't remember how to spell it. But it's on next to Albany Street, Station B, the fire station.
Mm-hmm.
Right to the left of it as you're turning into Albany Street. Front on Main Street.
Oh, okay.
It's small,
Wow, yeah, right, okay.
it's all it's fenced in except for the front.
Yeah.
It's got that bell that was donated
Yeah.
from the Wrights family.
Okay. Cool. So that's, anything else that could be on this list? This is like parks, fields.
There is a
Yeah.
conservation area
Mm-hmm.
near, it's on 67 near Washington Street
Oh, that area, oh yeah, down to the left by the river there between.
by Brian Christensen's
Yeah,
place.
yeah, down there, yeah.
I don't know, does that have a name?
I don't know if it does. And I mean, technically, where the water tower sits, isn't that like
Oh.
Tyler Park or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah,
Tyler Park, that would be a
Tyler
good
Park.
spot for like hiking trails and stuff,
Hmm.
going up the mountain.
Cool. Okay, that's Southbridge Road?
Yep,
Mhm.
Southbridge Road at the end of Bemis.
And the North Street at the end, that's state home.
That state,
That-
that does have.
Yeah,
That's-
trails.
there's
that's
lots
a-
of trails, that
That's
is,
wonderful, right, that's what I was
Mass
thinking.
Wildlife owns it.
Colonel's Mountain.
Right,
Yeah.
there's a ton of, used
It's
to be
actually-
Yeah, it used to be a KOA campground.
campground, so that you know there's stuff in there
Yeah.
that we can actually probably utilize for walking and hiking.
Yeah, oh, there's a lot of
A
trails.
lot of
in
trails there, which,
And there's little ponds and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Change
That's
the
where we had a
official
lot of
name
our
to
beaver
Palmer-
problems started.
Palmer Wildlife Sanctuary or something. That's
Yeah,
what it's called.
is that what it's called?
Palmer
Palmer
Wildlife
Wildlife
Yeah.
Sanctuary?
And that's pretty big.
And
Yeah,
it
Bigger
goes
than any of
into
those, huh?
Palmer.
yeah, it starts in Warren and, the town lines at
Does
the
the
bottom.
state
of the
allow
hill.
us to utilize that though?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's open for anybody, recreation. I wouldn't go in there right now, they're hunting.
Oh,
Yes.
and I, no.
Wear your orange.
Yes, definitely wear your bright colors. if
No,
you're
I've been in there a
walking.
million times, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I've never seen the whole scope of it.
yeah, it's big.
Interesting.
Cool. So we'll add those for sure.
Okay.
Strategy 1 is supporting future phases of redesign for Cutter Park. So we can get more into the chapter, what people from the workshop or the survey would like to see happen to Cutter Park. There are a lot of different ideas floated around, as well as different grants that have worked in the past for park redesign that CMRPC has seen come to completion. This also was a point of opportunity for other recommendations we saw in the survey for more accessible parks, parks with specific amenities for people with disabilities, as well as, just accessible roads and pavement, and picnic areas
Okay.
on top of that park area. So we'll leave it pretty open-ended on what the specific design should be, as that's in progression, but
Yeah,
the master plan can recommend to go forward with redesigning the park.
yep.
And strategy 2 gets on that accessibility a little more broadly. So this would coincide with your ADA transition plan of doing ADA accessible walkthroughs, so that could be white cane or wheelchair or any walking impairment device. A few specific comments that came up were sidewalks, parking lots next to parks, which I know could be an issue, especially for ownership. But considering that in improvements for just vaguely all of the parks and town-owned spaces.
Mhm.
And strategy 3 is just enhancing amenities within existing offerings. So this could look like electricity and Wi-Fi if you wanted to do a farmer's market or live music at a park
Mhm.
and wanted either a plug-in or broadband, which I'm not sure how the funding is looking into 2025, because this was kind of like a COVID project. But Mass Broadband Institute had a lot of funds for broadband in public spaces,
Hmm.
which could be cool to do for the town common or an area in West Warren,
Yeah,
not only for events, but for work from home or,
Yeah.
anybody that wanted to use that.
We talked about that from one of the commissioners,
Oh, nice.
for Parks and Recs, and we've talked about, trying to do that, to get Wi-Fi down at Dean Park to help with
Dean Park.
doing like, bingo, Wi-Fi bingo and stuff like that, musical, things and stuff like that. It would help a lot to have that down in the park.
Cool. Yeah, Dean Park would be perfect. Other things that came up were fences, and this would relate to off-leash dog use.
okay.
So I spoke to Danielle from the Recreation Department about that there's been a demand for dog park. And now I know it's not Wright Park, but I think that specific park, Whittier Park, was brought up as a potential for a dog park because
Okay.
it is fenced already on 3
Yeah.
sides. It would just need one more fence in the front.
Yeah, actually, that wouldn't be a tough one to finish fencing in.
So maybe something to look into for feasibility. Lighting came up as well for that perception of safety in town-owned land, especially now that it's about to be dark at 4:30.
Mhm.
And just general beautifying. I think I used Lucy Stone Park as a fantastic, goal that could be scaled. That signage that tells you it's, a Warren area, as well as the historical signage and the environmental signage, and just the mums and all the fall landscaping. Bringing that into the other town-owned parks, so you get that brand and that feeling of welcomeness for residents and visitors of, oh, this is a town-owned open space that I could use,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Cool. Commons Pond came up a bunch as something that we could optimize as a town beach. That would include talking to the water district about further usage. Could be non-motorized boats, canoes, kayaks on the pond.
Mhm.
Could be formalizing the trails around the pond and making a loop there and starting to promote that as a town trail. Could be bringing in more picnic benches for picnic areas,
Yeah.
things like that.
Because that's a public water supply.
Mhm.
I don't know how
Yeah.
willing they're going to be, but you can always
Mhm.
ask.
Yeah, has there been discussion before?
Not
That
that
you
I
know
know
of?
of.
Yeah, I don't know how much the parks have ever really, I mean, just the fact that we were able to utilize it as a swimming area has been nice, convenient to have. I don't know if we could expand upon that or not.
Yeah.
Pretty much just the agreement of the actual beach usage
Yeah.
for the summer months.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although I imagine if we were willing to put some money towards it to fix things and kind of make it nicer and help with maintenance around the pond. And like you said, if you had a walking trail around the pond, maybe we help keep the brush down, keep it clear to the edge of the water, and that's obviously something that they need to take care of. Need to manage that water source too, so. Maybe that with a little partnership, the water district would be a little more interested if we're willing to put something into it.
Cool. Yeah, and then I already mentioned the dog park. I can fix the name on here. As an option, and something that's come up as a demand. For Dean Park, it was recommended by a few people that a soccer field might be beneficial, or some additional amenities for older kids, more sports fields that can compete with regional sports fields and get more of those organized children's sports in Warren fields, get more cars driving into Warren, bringing that business in. I don't go too far into it, but this is something that the town can really utilize as a low-cost way to get tourism, almost,
Mhm.
of sports parents.
Yeah.
especially after-school activities. If there are more town fields that you can rent out for those, I'd say soccer, baseball, maybe basketball. Especially because you have regional sports programs, that could be a huge asset to small business.
Are both diamonds used in Dean Park?
Yeah, one's set up for softball, the other's set up for Little League baseball.
The front one gets more use.
Yeah, the
But
Little
they
League field in front.
use the back one for practice last.
And we've made
It's a
quite a few
huge area.
improvements to those fields just in the last couple of years. We're starting to treat the ground, liming and whatnot. Maybe we'll be able to do some reseeding soon and just make it nicer in general.
We've been repainting.
Yeah, there's been a lot of painting. So the bleachers, the dugouts, all that stuff.
Would a soccer field fit in there between the two diamonds?
Yeah, I
There
think
used
it
to
would.
be actually, there used to be a small soccer field and a larger, there's like different age groups.
Okay.
Under 8 and, I don't know if the age groups now, but they, I think.
When did they
had-
get away from that?
Oh, it was way back, probably early 2000s.
Okay, so it's been 20 years
Yeah, and
since
then
they,
they moved a lot of the soccer to the high school.
to the high school.
After,
Okay.
I think it was right before the high school fields
All right,
got established. They were using Dean Park for a lot of soccer. So
okay.
I think right now you could fit it, because soccer's in the fall, baseball's
In the spring, yeah.
But isn't that gonna really impact, just beating the gajivas out of that lawn?
No,
Usually a
No.
soccer field gets beat right at the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But that could be something that can be reseeded.
yeah, that's
Okay.
not, and again, it being a fall sport,
Yeah,
we
no.
have the
Yeah.
spring to, get the baseball fields ready, and then we could, through halfway through summer, again, into before fall, we'll set up a soccer setup. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be a bad idea to have that option, so.
Some parks just get the 2 goals too, on wheels, for the
Yeah.
real little kids that
Yeah.
don't need lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends what age group you wanna put there.
Right.
too,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Cool. So our second key finding is about expanding offerings. When we asked in the survey, the top 2 questions for what recreational opportunities would you like to see more of were hiking trails and expanded use of waterfronts. In general, this first paragraph is really that, how do I say this? I think Warren really has a value of natural beauty and recreation, that there is a lot of opportunity for expansion. I think a lot of people say they like natural beauty, but I think Warren means it.
Yeah.
I was like, I think if there is investment in, formalizing trails, having waterfront access, that residents would really enjoy it from everything I saw in the survey. So strategy number 1, and this is a very detailed map, so I don't know how far you could zoom, because there's a lot of layers.
Oh, yeah, this is very,
So I'll walk you through
Well,
what kind of colors we could pay attention to in this. Warren is fascinating because
where'd it go?
compared to a lot of other
nope,
towns
keep going.
Yeah.
that have been as successful as Warren has in
There it is.
preserving open land, there's really not that much of it that's owned by town, state, or federal.
No,
But there is so much private land that is preserved or conserved in some way. And it's really special, I think. But when we're talking about the master plan and, what the town can do to formalize trails, create trails, that gets a little trickier. Because the majority of open space that could be used for trails is privately owned in some way. So I want to be careful about that in this chapter, to not make any private landowner think that the town wants to do something specific with their land, but see it as an option. If somebody did want to use their land for public use with a partnership with the town, that could be an option. But the colors here, the light purple is vacant land, and this is a problematic layer from the state. It's not ever going to be 100% correct. Because they have a different understanding of the use, but that could be potential land as somewhere to start or narrow it down as options.
Okay, wait, what does vacant land mean?
To the state, it means, the land isn't used for a purpose.
Oh, but somebody still owns it?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not like abandoned.
Right. So not all of this land is abandoned, but we put it on the open space inventory as a way to narrow down if the town was interested in maybe looking at a few parcels. This is something that could narrow down. But that dark purple is town-owned land, if you could tell. Oh yeah, you can see the difference. But the green color is used specifically for recreation. So you can see the area around Commons Pond is the biggest, which of course is also used as a water supply protection. But the interesting part about this map is these little polka dot areas are chapter lands. So those are lands that are typically privately owned, that are under either 61B, 61A, or 61. And 61B lands, so this gray color, is land that should be primarily used for recreation. Recreation does include shooting or hunting.
Okay.
So that could be the use that was originally understood. But this is another way that, if we're looking at specific lands that could be trails, lands that are under this chapter land could be a way to start. 61A is usually agricultural in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's less important for this chapter, but it's fascinating how much chapter land Warren has. I see it as a real opportunity.
Mhm.
Again, like not really putting anything on private landowners. But there is a lot of land that private landowners specifically ask to be used for recreation.
Now, can there be a benefit to the landowner for sharing their property, say with public, with the town? Or is it just, hey, I'm nice, I'm not using this. I'm gonna let you guys put trails on it. I mean, I don't know, is there like a tax break? I mean, there's already a
That's what I was
tax,
thinking.
there's already a tax break on the type of land in those chapters. But would there be a further tax break if there was a partnership with the town? Say like, hey, somebody owns 100 acres and we could build a big loop through it, a hiking loop or a mountain biking loop, whatever, multiple things. Maybe they get a further tax break because they're willing to allow their land to be used in partnership with the town. So I didn't know if that's an option somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Just a clarification, I'm looking at the purple, right by, up on 19. What does that purple mean? Right intersection of 19 and,
Not used, vacant
Like
land
here?
it's called. That's where they're building that, they have a sand pit going in there.
oh, okay, that's, okay.
Well,
Now I got it.
That's where there's sand and gravel, one of the many sand and gravel
Yes.
banks.
Yeah, it's hard to see the roads
And
on
then
this.
Right, I
across
know.
the street is just a big mountain that goes up to, and it backs up to Reed Street. So, you can see it's where it meets Reed, where it cuts across. That's a large purple
Gotcha.
space. So that's just a big mountain, there's nothing really there.
What is the level of protection, perpetuity, limited, none? Because, how does that work?
What does that work, yeah.
What is that? Perpetuity, so all the white? No, that doesn't make
No.
sense.
No,
So I think because there are so many layers on this map,
Mm-hmm.
you can only see when there's that crosshatch for none.
Yep.
Like if you look in the top left corner, right above the
Well,
conservation management area in green. If you scroll
I
up
don't
a
know, I
little
mean,
bit.
there's one right here,
Yep.
there's one down here.
Yeah, so that's that non-protection.
huh, okay.
Limited, you could see it a little
there's one
bit
up here.
on town-owned land, which is not an issue. It was tiny dots.
Huh.
Oh, maybe this right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that, no, Lucy Stone is over here.
That's a school, is it? No.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Would it be where the school is?
I think so, except this white part.
Huh.
So that could be the fields around the school, yeah.
Or the swamp out, the pond and swamp out in front of the field, in between the two entrances of the high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, this strategy keeps it pretty open-ended, just exploring ways the town could either acquire more open space or have that partnership.
Yeah.
The second strategy is about trails, which has come up every time I talk to somebody from Warren. Formalizing existing trails, expanding trail access. Again, this map shows the limited options for town-owned land specifically. So you see a little bit in that top left corner. I believe that's the wildlife management
Right there,
area.
Hmm.
Down a little bit, that loop, Devil's Peak,
yeah.
is a little bit of a mystery to me, so I'm curious.
That's all Callahan.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
He
private.
owns, that's all privately owned.
So is there access from the street?
Would it come
It's a
in
real
from
Smith Road
the
is
Palmer
in-
side though, where they have the Boy Scout camp?
Yes. There is
I bet there's
access.
trails that come from there on the backside of the Quabog River, and it heads up the mountain. Cause I know there's a
That's
Boy
the-
Scout camp right there.
That's the second way in, the other way in is Smith Road. and-
Smith Road, yeah, but Smith Road is now controlled
Right.
pretty much by Callahan, so.
Okay.
I don't think they want people on
They
there.
don't want anyone
No,
on
I
it.
don't
Okay.
think-
So maybe somebody could let him know that it is in the state
Yeah.
management for trails.
Okay.
So he
Huh.
knows. I don't know how it got on that list.
Well, that's something, if something goes into that land, like
Yeah,
an
Maybe
equestrian park, that's something I wanna see him
Mm.
give access to.
yeah, a lot of that'd be.
Cause Devil's Peak is pretty cool. I've been
Yeah.
up there once or twice.
These are
Once
pretty
years ago.
Yeah.
Years
I mean,
ago.
you could get back there without getting shot or something.
So yeah, this is the existing map as that's formalized, which is why maybe we should give them a call. But we only have that one trail up by the wildlife preserve. From talking to people, I know people are walking around Dean Park as a loop. People are walking around Commons Pond.
Mhm.
But those aren't trails,
Yeah.
capital T. So below this map, there are some leads for potential trails. The first one is the Old Bay Path Indian Trail. So I believe this started in West Brookfield. It is in your open space plan from 2022 as a proposed trail to go through Warren, West Brookfield, and New Braintree. So this map would be the Warren portion. And again, this would be a mix of ownership. So it would be a huge feasibility study to see if this is something that the neighborhood would want. But it would be going adjacent to Reed Street. And this path was proposed a few years ago as a path that follows traditional Native American paths.
Mhm.
So it'd be more of a historical trail. But this is out there as an option.
This is just walking on the street, right? I mean, this isn't like a backwoods sort of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Another option, and this is more in resources than a specific trail that I have in mind, but the Mass Central Rail Trail has been expanding like crazy, and I zoomed into our little subregion, but across the state, we have not just one continuous trail, but so many offshoots. The closest it gets to Warren is through this proposed Ware Trail.
Hmm.
If there's a way to potentially connect that to the Coy Hill Wildlife Management Area, just touching the peak of Warren, or create your own offshoot, bringing in that widely known Mass Central Rail Trail name would get a lot of people to enjoy that area.
Mhm.
Or connecting any trail to that name, I think would be interesting.
Yeah, we skirt the edge of it.
So since Warren has active train tracks still, can't necessarily do a rail trail, but
No.
if we can kind of work with the rail trail name, that could be interesting. The third is my pipe dream.
Your pipe dream.
Yeah.
You know.
This one,
It's my part.
you just have so much river and just no river walk, and it makes me so sad. I don't think I'm the only one that's sad. I put the property map down here. It is not easy.
No.
There's about 100 different owners probably abutting the river, not to mention CSX weaving through it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this would be an easy project at all. I'm like, come on. There's got to
Yeah.
be some way to either expand the Lucy Stone Park or, you know,
I was gonna say, you could probably do some of it, but
Mhm.
Yeah,
not,
by the rail, it's a real, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, in Hardwick,
It'd be
they,
nice.
they skirt, the rail trail goes right along the river, and it's so nice, and you get to go over old bridges and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so nice. It would be
So
awesome to have a rail
Oh.
trail or something down by the river.
Well, just tell CSX to go somewhere else, and we'll
Just move the
take their, yeah, they can move their track, and we'll
Yeah.
put a trail through there. We can use their bridges, go over the river, it'd be really nice.
and I feel like elevation is a thing over there. Where it kind of slopes down a little.
A little bit.
But thinking about connecting the villages, if we could even get people off 67
Yeah.
along the river instead, like, oh my God, it would be beautiful.
Hmm.
So we don't have to add this in if it's too much of a pipe dream.
Yeah,
I said
it could be.
in a beautiful
Yeah, I
world.
just think it's, we should waste, I mean, our effort should be something more, it's a great idea, but it would take a lot more
Mhm.
effort than doing some, one of the other things.
Is
It's a great
there-
idea, though.
Is there another portion of the river that has been discussed before as a river walk that might be a little easier property-wise?
Well,
Well, heading, even
What about
CSX is
that
even
place
there.
from, where Stacy's is
Yeah,
to like Coy Hill Road, right where River turns there,
yeah.
in that area? That'd probably be the only available spot, I would think.
Yeah, cause the railroad tracks are on the other side of the river, and there's a fair
Right.
amount of land that follows the
Yeah,
edge of
so
the river.
you're, so you're
there.
looking from,
Mhm.
let's see,
Hmm.
almost where that green is, right? Right, Main Street, Route 67?
Yeah, that whole section
That
through
would
there,
be-
yeah.
That would be the area, I
Yep.
think.
Yeah, you would start where it says, well, Stacy Exposition is where the first 67 is in the middle of the map.
Okay.
So it's right there.
Mhm.
this one?
Yeah, right there. So that's where you cross the bridge to go over to Stacy Exposition. So
So this would be,
from there all the way to Coy Hill, you'd have access to that side of the river, the north side of the river, between 67 and the river. That's just woods through there. It's not, there's nothing there. So to build a walk along that section, you could do that. And heck, that's actually a large portion of what we were talking about, wanting to build a sidewalk on 67 from West Warren to Warren. There's no connection.
Mhm.
Well, if you put the sidewalk that exists on 67, it stops just short of that. So if
Yeah.
you were able to continue that sidewalk, then cross and then maybe come down to the river and have a sidewalk that goes along the river,
Yeah, you-
it stopped and it would come out by near Alltown, right where the sidewalk
You would
starts
literally
again.
make that
You would
sidewalk-
literally come out right where the sidewalk starts again. So you could use the river as that middle between West Warren and Warren.
There you go.
See, look how nice that would be.
It looks really
Now
good.
get us funding for it.
Yeah.
Easy, that's very easy.
You know how much ecotourism money is right now?
It's pretty flat too. It's
Yeah, it
not-
is, that's a
Is it
flat
flat?
section.
There's no
Yeah.
elevate.
The river doesn't drop way off there, you're right there.
So is it true this like west side of town has a lower river than the east side?
Well, after the dam, it drops.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
What?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I would ask the same question.
Okay, so it's less likely that people would be kayaking, canoeing on that west side of,
They-
not necessarily West
They
Warren,
basically
but-
stop at that little rest
Yeah.
area. Or, yeah, that's pretty much where they stop. Like,
Yeah.
They don't go pretty
No.
much any further. A few brave people I'd seen in the past go right to the dam, but that was when the water was real high.
Yeah, because once you get to right before Stacy Exposition, that's where the river chokes down and it goes through where they knocked
Oh,
an
yeah,
old
that's
dam
right.
down.
Yeah.
And then it also funnels down underneath the building, where the buildings were, actually used to go under the mill that was there. And it comes out there in two places. So most people stop kayaking right before they get to that.
So in our hypothetical trail.
Right at our trail,
that
where our
would be
trail
the-
would start.
The end.
Yeah. See, there's more and more.
You shouldn't have given me
Unless
hope
you
like
could
this.
clear a channel out,
We could.
right?
Actually, and there would be room to clear a channel, but then you have to find a place for everyone to get out before they go off the next waterfall.
Well, that's, you know.
That's somebody else's problem.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, we'll get you to there anyway, to where our sidewalk will begin. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because a lot of people in kayaks will go over.
they'll go over the waterfalls. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's why I've seen in the past people go through that. Of course, I think it fell apart in the last 2 years,
yeah.
but they used to go through there, some really advanced people.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of guys with kayaks in there
But
too.
95% of them get out at that rest area, from Lucy Stone to,
Yeah, right where your sidewalk should be. Your river walk. I'm sorry.
they actually do a canoe race I think it's every spring.
Yeah, yeah.
And they start at, actually they go from West Brookfield and they stop right at that rest area.
Yeah.
It's a shame we couldn't figure something out longer, quicker for kayaking. That would be incredible if we could figure that out.
Yeah, I have to look more into that
Yeah,
property now.
'cause
Now
that's-
you got me intrigued.
Yeah, no, that would be interesting, and fix the nice flow, maybe dam
Yeah,
up the water.
and
a
that's
little
it.
bit.
Oh, you don't even need to dam it up. It's already there's plenty of dams and stuff in there. I mean, right now, obviously, the river's low,
Yeah,
but usually those sections are no problem to navigate with a kayak. And especially if we made better access with a river trail to where you could get out of the kayak before you get to the dams.
Mhm.
And again, you would create that connection from West Warren to Warren in multiple purposes, and then we could find funding for that. So, I like it. We just gotta find out who owns all that property.
Yep. Cool. And the fourth lead was more vague, going back to
Bacon.
that same map, and we can. It's not the best, but the vacant, underutilized land that maybe nobody wants could be potential recreation land.
Mhm.
That's the idea. If there are any specific leads, it might not be appropriate to put them in a master plan, but this idea is something that the town could pursue. Cool. Key finding number 3. We just said a lot of cool stuff. Who's gonna do it? This is key finding number 3. Building capacity for recreation department, for, that specific maintenance and, building amenities that we spoke about, as well as, more regular programming. So the first strategy would be to increase that programming. And this would kind of trickle into that town services and facilities discussion as well, of, hosting more events, hosting more classes, and really taking advantage of the fields and parks that Warren already has. An interesting idea when I talked to Sue Ramsey was this field connecting to the Shepherd Building and potential to use that more often for little things
Mhm.
on the
Yeah.
back.
I mean, right now, we generally only use it for overflow parking.
Yeah, it became a parking lot.
We used it for movie nights. and
Yeah,
stuff, too.
yeah,
that's
We
right.
carved out and
Yeah.
did drive-in. We did that a few times out here, and it worked out really well.
It could be cute. Talk about a place that already has parking.
Right?
You already own. It's
Yeah.
already maintained and cut. So that could be fun.
Take care of that.
put a soccer field there.
Too small. Well, you could
Yeah,
put
I
a
know.
little
You could do
field. You could do a
like
small practice
you know,
field.
Kids
yeah.
wanted to practice at night,
Yeah.
it's another.
No, it's not, I'm just thinking, I thought there
There's
was a field
options.
to the right there that you could put a.
Yeah.
Okay.
For offerings, the ideas that came up the most in the survey were summer concert series, which I assume would be Dean Park as
Yeah.
the best option instead of the Common.
Yeah.
Right.
We've been getting a lot of people lately compared
Nice.
to when it first started. We've been getting hundreds of people. Like, I think I counted almost 400, one of the
Wow.
concerts that we did this year.
Wow.
So we've been getting
Yeah.
a lot of people.
People
If you
like
go
it.
to the park's Facebook, you can see some aerial shots.
My nice.
Yeah.
Pictures of all.
Especially when we do like, a concert with like an event, like, whenever we do the, animal petting zoo and stuff.
Mhm.
It attracts a lot more people because
Mm-hmm.
they like to do the two different options, listen to music and have a.
Yeah,
something
a
else
car
going on.
show and
Car
a
show,
band
yep.
or
Even
a
we
touch
do
a
the
truck
Touch a
event,
Truck.
that's always a fun one.
Touch a truck. is
Touch a
nice.
truck is the best.
This year we did the whole vendors thing too, and
Yeah.
a lot of people responded really well to that.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely taken off. Our little community is a happening place sometimes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just countries that play, isn't it that group?
Oh, yeah, Eddie's
Eddie's
group.
group, yeah.
Eddie's group, yeah.
Yeah, they play there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're a good band.
they
Yeah,
are,
band.
they're very good.
Eddie's quite a player. Does a really good, nice job, yep.
He was a former highway employee.
Yes.
Oh. and
He
talented.
retired a few years ago and he's very musical though.
Yes, he really is.
Local talent.
Yep.
Yeah, so continuing those efforts, expanding them as you can, and also those more passive groups. You know, if you could start a bird watching group, gardening groups, pickup games, that kind of thing that could be more low key, but is still sponsored by under that town name.
How do we get car shows into Dean Park? Yeah.
Well, they did,
Done 'em.
we've done them.
Is that okay?
It's just very hard when you're competing on weekends with other places that already established them.
Gotcha.
So we usually ask a lot of local people that we know that have cars and stuff, and we don't charge anybody, they come to view and stuff. so-
Yeah.
It's more of, I think you call them a car show or cruise night, it's more of
Yeah.
a cruise night.
Cruise night, yeah.
People come out,
Yeah.
car, they park it, listen to music and.
But we've done
Look
it
at
for
each
2
other.
years now, and it's done pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And our last strategy here is to
Which one are you on? Two?
yep,
Two.
Okay.
formalize and continue promoting the existing offerings in different ways. So we mentioned trails a little bit. Trails are tricky when it comes to property ownership, liability, things like that. So this is a bigger discussion about what trails you want to formalize. But we have some options here on how you can promote those trails to the bigger walking, hiking community. You make them
There are some
accessible.
existing trails that could be reinvigorated, cleaned up and made
Yeah.
accessible again.
Yeah.
And you get that one that goes out behind Lucy Stone down the river.
Yeah.
Reworking that is, I think that was installed by the Boy Scouts
Yeah, it was a while.
a long time ago.
Yeah, it was already kind of grown in when when the first time I kind of walked that way.
How
There
much
was a
up-
bunch of debris, beavers took trees down and stuff to
Yeah.
block the trail.
How much could you expand it beyond that? Or is it, could go even
I haven't
further?
gone to the
Yeah.
end yet, so I don't know.
You
Yeah.
know,
I
we'd have to
just-
walk
We just
it.
finished with the first portion of it.
Yeah.
We got the, it's about a third mile trail that comes from the potting shed
Yeah,
and goes all the way back to that entrance
Yeah.
way. And we put a couple of boardwalks in there and stuff.
It
like
looks
that.
very nice.
Yeah, that's got
Yeah, you
potential.
guys
It
did an
does, no.
excellent job with that.
I know.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely, I think, based upon that, we can keep, trying to expand those trails and maybe more and more. We get our river trails that you were talking about. You never know.
Heading by the river.
It's all good ideas, though.
They're great ideas.
And I think you're right. I think the one thing people seem to be very active and excited in is park events, trail hiking, those type of things. People definitely come out for that.
Yeah.
So the more of that we can offer, the more I think our community will be involved, so.
With dogs too.
Yeah, the dog thing is
Dog
big.
walking, it's like
I think, I never considered the idea of, making it like a dog park, but that's,
Even a
We've
common.
had a
you
lot
go
of
to,
requests.
yeah,
A lot of people walk their dogs across the common and stuff.
yeah.
They look. But I go throughout the state, and that's the big thing now, dog parks.
Yeah,
They're all
Ware
open.
has a really nice one.
What's
Do
that?
they?
Yeah.
So I think that'd be an
I
awesome
think
idea.
we're behind where we
I
need to,
think Ware
we need
has
to.
a couple already. They have I
Ware's
think
beating
2 or
us.
3 dog
We don't even
parks.
where's where?
Yeah.
I do like the dog park, I think that'd be a good one to do.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely.
What's that?
Dunham Road, yeah,
Absolutely.
Dunham Road. We'll
Lily's
call it
Lane?
Lily's Park.
Lily's Park, my late dog, yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, actually, we could use, the old Brook Road,
Absolutely.
which is a dead end, unfortunately. How long is that? It's not that long.
Quarter mile.
Quarter mile, yeah. It's an old
does
discontinued
that
road
go?
that ends at the turnpike because, when they built it,
That's-
so then they built the new road on the other side of the
No,
turnpike.
no,
So
really,
we just
no.
have a
Never seen
little
it
dead
like
end
road.
road. It's actually
where
beautiful
does
to
it
walk
go?
down along the
Where
brook.
is that?
so.
Wait a
It's,
minute.
off of Dunham Road.
So wait a minute, so let
Right at the
me,
end of Dunham Road, it veers to the right and heads towards the turnpike.
it goes to a big circle, and to the right is the tower.
You used to
Yeah.
cross the turnpike.
Yeah. Now you can, if you wanna walk through the culverts, there's 3 big culverts that walk underneath, go into the turnpike. You
Ooh.
can venture through.
Scary.
Oh, so there's no way to get around it,
No,
okay.
I don't think the
No, I'm
turnpike's
sorry,
gonna
that's
let us
going
walk
over.
through
No,
the
no, no, no,
culverts
no, I'm talking
either,
about
so.
further down the road, I don't know.
Fence there.
If
No,
you
no,
were to
further
cross
down.
the stream at the end though, that's the Ledger's property going along the turnpike there,
Okay,
comes up.
I'm just trying to think of, expand that even more, I know.
So that would have meant.
We could have it go up the hill and come out in your backyard.
I would do
See,
that.
look at that, nice guy.
Marilyn might not, my neighbor.
So that's
might.
Old Brook Road? Is that
Old
what it's
Brook
called?
Road
Okay.
is what it's called.
Yeah,
Yep.
Huh, okay.
And a lot of people walk their dogs down that road.
Yes.
So,
that'd be a nice dog park.
And
yeah.
doesn't look like there's any houses on it. right?
Nothing, nope.
Nothing.
There's an access road to a tower, a
Yeah,
radio
cell
tower,
tower.
cell tower, and that's it.
How far down at the end do you come to the pipe so you can make it expand that even more for a dog?
No, not, I mean,
I never
you
walked
could
by.
some, but just, yeah, that's further down.
But my point is, that would be a good way, if you could expand
There,
that more.
there's potential there,
Yes,
Cool. Yeah, cool.
well, look, I.
because it's already town-owned property. The road was
You
the
got a
town.
fishing
There's
area right
fishing right there too, yeah. Nice brook
Yeah,
right there.
that's what I'm saying, that road.
That's,
we can think of something.
Taylor Brook, I think it is.
Map says Tufts.
Tufts Brook? That's Tufts
Very
Brook.
good.
Taylor Brook's on the other side. Tufts, that's right.
Cool. Anything I missed, you definitely know more than I do.
All of you, I'm just amazed.
We've been talking about doing a bunch of different things, to try to revamp everything. A lot of people are wanting a pickle court.
Pickleball,
So
yeah.
we've been either talking about trying to revamp the basketball court beside the fire station. I know in Dean Park, we definitely need to get our basketball court looked at, cause it's sinking and there's
Yeah.
cracks and stuff in it.
It needs to be dug out and redone.
Yeah, and the basketball court beside the fire station has cracks and stuff. But there's been a whole lot of, people asking about doing that and farmer markets and, different stuff like that, but.
Fill into the, and again, not being from around here, there's no room for expansion on the back end of that. I know besides the condos, but going further back, do we own this town?
Where's this?
Dean Park?
Dean Park,
You're
it's,
talking about Cutter Park.
We're talking about Cutter Park.
right.
Cutter now, right?
I'm-
well, she was talking about the basketball courts at the, next to the fire
Oh, okay.
station.
Yeah,
I'm just
right
looking
beside
for-
the river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where they wanted to do the pickleball. They're
Yeah.
thinking about it. It's an
Yeah.
option,
Yeah,
absolutely,
we've
because
been-
we don't
we've been
utilize
looking
that
at it,
anyway.
and we've been looking at pricing and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But Cutter Park, we did have our meeting last month, we did talk with, a guy that knows the owners of the facility behind it.
Okay.
And they own the parking lot.
Yep.
And the area right beside
Yep.
Cutter. And they said that they might be interested if we wanted to possibly buy that land.
Wow. 'Cause
They
that's-
might be
yeah, that's the
interested.
condominium.
Yeah, they would
complex,
want their
right?
parking area in the front there,
Yeah.
but they'd be interested in us maybe buying right beside it up to their property. So that would expand if we wanted to do
You
more
could
for Cutter
expand the
Park.
park
We could have
quite
a
a bit.
parking lot and
Yeah,
be able to do a bunch of different things. So it was not very like, it was just brought up in the meeting, but we did discuss it. So they said that they'd be willing to talk to us about possibly if we could find the funds to buy it.
Mhm.
That would be a good option if we wanted to expand the park.
that'd be really neat.
So which way are you looking? To the west with all the trees?
Yes.
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 They own the rock.
They own that whole thing.
They own right beside the All Town. all the way up and around the park.
Yeah.
So they want us to basically buy the forest area where there's a little bit of wetland and stuff.
Yep.
But they would want that parking lot in the front that they let us use, cause they were kind enough to let us. 'cause
Oh,
it's
yeah,
their own property.
they use that for, in the winter time when they have to,
Plow.
have places for their vehicles to park while so they can plow out everything.
Okay.
That's where all the residents of that condominium park during snowstorms. So, but we get to use it the rest of the time for parking for the park.
But they said that they'd be willing to, if we wanted to, possibly buy that, and that would expand the park.
There could be at least another half an acre
Yeah.
of land there available.
So right here.
Yeah,
right?
that whole area right
That
there.
whole area.
Interesting, that's right, yeah.
So they said that they would still want the parking lot area because they use that as off-site parking for
Mhm.
when they plow. But they said that the rest of the area, if we were interested. So we did talk about it, but not really.
Yeah, cause then even we could probably
'Cause we were
improve the
talking about
parking
revamping
area
it and
too.
stuff, and they said that they enjoy us being there and that for the people that live there to use our park. So they said that they wouldn't mind.
Okay, good,
So,
excellent,
Cool.
that's good stuff,
To know.
okay,
That's it.
that's it.
That's it? Nice job,
Sarah,
really, nice job.
Were you
That's
sad
all.
it was only me?
What's
I
that?
did bring Anna here. I forgot to introduce her.
No, we met her at the, we were at the, where did we meet you? Did we go out to lunch, all of us, one day?
No, no.
That was like 4 of you, I don't remember.
Anna's our new intern at SMRPC. She's
There
been
you go.
helping with the open space chapter.
nice.
Want her to see how the
Nice.
sausage gets made. Next month will be natural cultural resources. And before we meet, you'll have the economic development chapter if you want to read it.
Excellent.
Okay,
Knowing it's December, so
Mhm.
we're
okay,
not rushing. Cool.
excellent, thank you very much, Sarah.
Thanks so much, Sarah.
Okay. Alright. Open space, key findings. Okay, let's, moving on. We'll jump into other grant programs right now. We have municipal vulnerability preparedness. John, I know we put in an expression of interest, or what was it, expression of interest. Yeah. So we put in expression interest for the culvert that runs under downtown. So we felt that because of where it is and what it affects, at least the first, we figured, I think it's about 120 feet of the culvert is a steel pipe that is very much deteriorating, caving in and collapsing in multiple places. And that pipe is key for all the water that comes out of Cummings Pond. So that is the overflow, the brook, everything. So if we got flooding, all the water out of there comes down, and if that pipe was to collapse and fail, it would essentially flood downtown. So with that information, along with several other things that scored very well, we put in expression of interest for a grant through MVP for environmental studies and engineering. And do we do permitting on that one too?
Yes.
Yeah, we did permitting on that as well. So, yes, that's,
And the second choice is Reed Street?
yeah, so
Here,
it,
right?
yeah, it kinda goes, comes, so where we would be fixing it starts behind the house on Cummings Pond, right there.
Yep.
It starts right, literally on the foundation of that house.
Okay.
Right there where your pointer is where the pipe goes underground, and it's collapsed multiple places between there and Southbridge Road. So for that first 120 feet before it turns into a stone culvert, that desperately needs to be fixed. And unfortunately, it's gonna be a very expensive repair. But hopefully we get some action and end up with another grant and get some engineering design, and hopefully we can move forward with that project.
And where's Reed Street on this?
That would be close second, third, somewhere in there. There's
Reed
several
Street?
other, the flooding on Reed Street we talked about.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
because Reed Street, the end of
Floods
Reed
every
Street
year.
floods every single time we get heavy
By
rain.
the highway barn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
So that'll be a future consideration
I know,
for
this-
sure.
I
It
understand
made
we're
the
talking
top
about
of, but this was
No,
by far
absolutely,
the
I
top
agree.
of the list. And it scored, and based upon the criteria that you needed, it scored very well. So we're excited to hear back from that one. All right, let's move on. One Stop for Growth updates. John, you got anything on all that?
Nothing new.
Nothing
other
new.
than- Yeah, I mean, everything, the work is done itself,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just close
Oh,
out.
I probably should be standing at the mic. At the
Oh,
podium.
you want
I'm
me to?
sorry,
No,
yeah.
that's okay, that's
I
okay.
know, they don't hear
Just
very,
on my
I should have
style.
said that right along, it just
Alright.
occurred to me.
I'll get up there.
Yeah, why don't you come on up?
Nice podium.
For you.
Yes, thank you, John. Okay, yeah, so no new real updates on anything for,
The-
One Stop?
Yeah, project work's all done. It's just a matter of finalizing paperwork,
Mhm.
payment apps, yeah,
Mhm.
certificate of completion, that kind of stuff. So project work's 100% complete though.
Yeah, and to add to that, the highway, because Prospect Street, when we applied for that, part of that was that the highway department would help refinish the street after they did the drainage and water line replacement on Prospect Street. Well, our first phase of refinishing the street is complete. We came in, it was about a week and a half ago, milled it to level the surface, and then came in and put a leveling coat for asphalt to smooth it out just for going into winter time. The final steps on Pulaski, or not on Pulaski, I'm sorry, on Prospect Street will be in the spring. So we're gonna add a berm, new sidewalk, and then a top coat to the road. So that'll be taking place probably in May. But, yeah, that's piggybacked on, the one-stop grant that we got for that street. Okay, what do we got next? Complete Streets. We, wanted to discuss the policy that, CMRPC helped us draw up. Did anybody guys have a chance to look over that?
I did.
You did? I read through it. I didn't,
It seems fine. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's-
don't really know
it's-
much about it.
No,
so-
no, and I think the most important part with Complete Streets is where they write in that, so they like you to think of this as a format for all your projects. So they want you to understand that whenever you're doing any sort of rebuilding of roads or streets, anything in town, they want you to keep in mind the idea of complete streets and moving people, not just moving vehicles or bicycles or anything. We have to move everyone, and creating that environment on the street that provides safety for everyone. And but they leave you a window, so if it doesn't line up with your project, you don't have to follow those rules. So as long as this group, that's the way it's stated, is the Complete Streets group would be our group. We would be the one overseeing all Complete Streets grants and projects. So if we determine that, hey, the highway department's redoing Coy Hill Road right now, we wouldn't be able to do the necessary things on Coy Hill to make it compliant with Complete Streets policies. But we could all agree that it's virtually impossible to make a mountain country back road into a street that's easily navigated for people in wheelchairs and bicycles and just pedestrians walking. I mean, we did the best we can. We widened the road as much as we could, provide safer, a wider roadway for people to walk and use along with vehicles. But a road like that would definitely be exempt from this policy. So again, that the state pushes you to utilize this policy anywhere you possibly can, but if you can't, they're not gonna penalize you. They're not gonna, you didn't put in a bike lane, or you didn't put in a sidewalk here. Well, it didn't fit with this project. As long as we agreed it didn't fit, nobody will ever give us a hard time, so. That was a big thing. With that too, we need to make a recommendation on this policy for the Board of Selectmen to accept this policy, for the town, on behalf of the town. I guess, so we need a vote on this. You guys all pretty good with this? Does anybody have
So
any
we
more
need to
questions?
approve it and then make
So-
a motion.
Yeah, so we
to,
need to approve this and make a motion to recommend the Board of Selectmen review it and sign it into policy for the town. Because once we sign it, then we can submit it to the state, and we'll be going forward with actually making us a Complete Streets eligible community, so we can start applying for grants,
Okay.
so.
My guess is this is necessary to.
Yes, we have to do this before it can go to the Board of Selectmen, and then they have to approve it before it can go back to the state to approve our community to apply for these funds. I don't know if the funding's changed in the last year or so, but it was like $330,000 over 3 years, something of that. Now, I can't remember, that number seems to stick. But you can either do it all in one shot, like apply for one $300,000 project. You could do like, hey, we're gonna redo this intersection next year, and we're looking for pedestrian, new crosswalks, new signs, new lighting, new like beacons and stuff. Well, those beacons are very expensive. This grant, if you wrote up a grant to redo an intersection to make it safe for pedestrians and cyclists and other people, it's almost a guarantee, they wanna fund those projects.
Okay,
So that gives us the option.
gotcha.
Alright,
So what is that called? The Complete Streets what?
Complete Streets policy.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the Complete Streets policy and forward it on to the selectmen for review.
Steve Crystal? Yeah.
Second,
Second?
all in
Gotta
favor?
get this right.
Enter down the list anyway.
Yeah, it's gotta be
You
roll
gotta
call.
say your name and then whether you're in favor.
Dan Thibodeau, aye.
James McKeon, aye.
Steve Crystal, aye?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Jeremy Olson, aye. The motion passed. So this will move on to the Board of Selectmen.
Excellent.
Alright, excellent.
Shouldn't you amend that for signature too?
Huh?
Shouldn't you amend that for signature too, not just review?
They have to review and then sign, yeah.
I mean, well, but they
Well,
have to
that's-
decide if they want it.
Yeah,
All we
it's
can-
up to the Board of Selectmen now. It's not, we just
All
had to approve this to go to
Right,
them.
but what I'm saying is, shouldn't the motion include review and sign?
Review and sign policy.
No, I don't think so,
No.
because all we do, we're just an advisory board,
Yeah,
so all we do is say, hey, we approve this, take a look. If you want to adopt it,
yeah. If they want to adopt it, they decide yes,
And then they would-
there's a signature page
Yeah,
in
they would
here
do their
if
own
they
motion.
decide to adopt it. So that's, once it's, now we've reviewed, we've sent it to them, it's all in there.
So this is like the draft, you could say.
Yes, it
Yeah.
has to,
Yeah.
the state requires that it goes through our board first,
Yeah.
our committee, before it goes to the Board of Selectmen. So, all right, which we successfully did.
Nice job.
All right, okay, let's move on from Complete Streets. Now we have Green Communities. Was there any updates, anything on that? I don't think so. What
I
are we
believe
doing?
the state just went through the reporting period, and I know Town of Warren was successful in updating the state with that report, so I think that was
Okay.
good on that front,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
I mean, the big green communities thing we have right now, I think is the senior center, right?
Right.
We've
Yeah.
got a new HVAC system
Right.
and weatherization in this building, and there might have been one other thing I don't remember, but. And I know the high school got a green communities thing, right, to do like a new control system?
It's possible. I've only heard through, yeah, I don't actually work on, sorry.
I'm pretty sure they
Yeah.
got that.
Okay.
Okay.
What they did at Warren Elementary, they're gonna do
They're
at the
gonna
high
do it at
school.
the high
Right.
school now. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
And that was,
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, temperature control for the
Zoning and
rooms is
everything.
what it
Yes.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, excellent. Wrights Mill EDA updates, anything? I don't
There's
think so.
nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. The Community Development Block Grants. John, what do you got for updates on that?
Okay, yeah, I'll start with FY '21. So that grant, with the originally funded activities is all completed, but we had talked about and we had done reprogramming the remaining funds to the senior center project, which included a new hatchway, a rear doorway, as well as some flooring area repairs. So we just successfully completed the procurement process for that. So we got quotes for that. Working with verifying that with our low bid. But hopefully within the next couple weeks, I'll have a contract ready for the Board of Selectmen to review and approve. So that's good news on that front. Moving on to the 22-23 program. Happy to report Phase 2, project work's complete. I know we talked about that last time. It looks great, I think. The contractor's working on a few little punch list things. I hope to have that wrapped up. For him to have that wrapped up any day now. Also talking about the town common improvement project. I know there's been some email exchanges on trying to nail a date.
Yeah, hard to get everybody.
Yeah. I know Jim, he had brought up a good point of trying to coordinate that right before a Board of Selectmen meeting. So if there was any members of the board that wanted to attend beforehand, that's why we kept hitting those Thursday dates.
Thursdays.
Yeah, so if that doesn't work, maybe we'll find another one. But I would like to try to have that initial kickoff meeting in December, just to give them, as much time as they can to actually work on the study itself. So probably you'll be seeing another meeting invite come out. I'll work with Jim to see if there's another alternative date. Or Rich, I don't know if you want to throw out a date that might work better. Just trying to coordinate it.
Yeah,
I know.
It seems like one person couldn't
Yeah,
each
yeah.
date. I'm like,
Yeah.
so far they're all fine for me. but
Right,
that's-
right.
doesn't-
I know it was obviously Jim made sure that Sue was going to be
Yeah.
in attendance, so I know
Yes.
that was important there. So yeah, that should be soon. But so yeah, we'll get that underway soon.
Figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. Some date in December.
So Sue couldn't do the 12th.
Right.
She could do the 19th?
I
Yeah.
believe so. Yes, but
Yeah, you couldn't do the 19th.
I probably can't. 'cause
Okay.
I have another commitment that I think is gonna take precedent.
Okay.
But if it's just a kickoff meeting,
right.
I mean, it's,
Well, I'd like you to be. I mean, it's up. It's
Okay.
it's up. I mean,
Your input is very valuable.
yeah.
I mean, the other thing would just be I don't know, when does Sue, she works during the day?
Yeah,
I don't know her. Yeah, is
Yeah.
that?
So she can't come to these meetings.
yeah.
At
This-
4:00 maybe she could, right?
That she struggles. I
No,
know
that's-
she's
I
busy.
can't speak
so
for her.
She has a lot going on, so she has to clarify her schedule. I don't.
I guess I would find out when she can come and then start from there.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, well, right. And the
So we're not
19th,
spinning our
she had
wheels.
said that she believed that worked. That's why we went with that
The
19th
19th,
date.
I would just do
Yeah.
it on the 19th then.
Okay. Well, we'll miss you, Rich. So just on the topic, so those are the two activities that were funded through the application. There is remaining funds left over from the Phase 2 construction project. I know we had previous discussions around looking at other projects to potentially reprogram. So I'm happy to report that we were able to income qualify Hillside Ave,
Excellent.
which is great. So the thought process being there was that we were going to have an engineering design study with the reprogrammed funds, so that would set up the town to apply for actual construction funds for next year's application. So we're moving that forward. So I guess one thing I wanted to review with the committee, I don't know if you guys got the chance to read it. I had it in one of those attachments. It was the cost estimate that Weston and Sampson had put together
I even
Yeah.
printed
on what it
out.
would cost for them to actually do the engineering design study on that road. They had it estimated at $31,000.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it does sound reasonable. So with that being said, I figured I'd, respectfully ask for, before going to the Board of Selectmen and having an actual public hearing, is asking for the committee's, if you guys want to do a motion or just,
recommendation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could, to advance it to the Board of Selectmen's review, and hopeful approval.
Yeah. Alrighty.
It's one of the only streets left in that whole
It
neighborhood.
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
It
exactly,
is.
exactly.
That's why we
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
it so bad. I was
Yeah, it came in
hoping
at-
that it would qualify.
Came in at 65% low mod in, so that,
Okay.
so that's a
Good.
good number, yeah.
Good. Okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
So sorry, we're making a motion just for Hillside?
To
Don't-
recommend this,
To reprogram $31,000
Oh, the reprogramming, yeah, right.
of
Okay.
remaining funds from the Phase 2 School Street project to fund this. So it's gonna still be within the same FY 22-23
I see,
CDBG
okay.
grant program, but just for a different activity that wasn't originally included in the grant.
All right, so I'll make a motion to recommend to the selectmen to, what's the motion?
Yeah, reprogram $31,000 to the engineering design study of Hillside Ave.
I
That.
never-
That.
Okay,
So
right.
Do I have,
moved.
do I have a
Crystal,
second? All right, all in favor?
I Dan Thibodeau.
I, James McCann.
Steve Bristol? Aye.
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Jeremy Olson, aye. The
Okay.
motion passes.
Aye.
Recommend this to the selectmen.
Thank you,
All
thank you.
right.
All right.
All right, and then moving on to the FY 24 program. So we received all environmental clearances as well as special condition clearances. We have the professional services contract between CMRPC and the town. I believe that's going in front of the board tomorrow night. Is that next meeting? Or no, tomorrow night's meeting, I think.
Well, there's,
Tomorrow is.
what is it? It's the,
It's
our-
the professional
our
services
special-
contract
yeah, I
between
think-
CMRPC for the administration services, yeah.
yeah.
I believe that Jim was able to get that on the agenda, right, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
That one, that word.
I need help with that too. all the time.
Well, you have a meeting
Your mind's
before the
thinking.
meeting.
Yeah, exactly,
No, I don't do it.
exactly.
yeah, we have, right,
meeting before the
selectmen
meeting.
meeting at 5:30, so let me see.
Cause then the town specials
It's
at
special.
7.
Yeah,
Seven.
enter into a contract
So late.
for 24 CDBG, extend
An hour
this
before my birthday.
contract for fiscal year 21,
Yep.
and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
after that contract is placed, we can get the ball rolling. I can start working on the procurement for the engineering design of the funded Central and River Street, right? Yep, exactly. And then also the design of Cutter Park,
Yep.
which
Perfect.
plays in well with we just talked about. So that'll be exciting. So that'll be coming next few weeks here. Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
Good stuff.
It's great stuff.
Yeah, and then just tying in real briefly with the 25, so if we can get this design done, which I spoke to the engineer, and he believes
Yeah.
that we can do it within the time frame. It would be ideal if we could apply for construction funds for the FY 25, grant
Yeah.
application. So depending on how much that is, will determine what other activities we could consider.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
We'll-
do it.
And, yeah,
When's the deadline on the application?
it's
for 25?
mid-April.
Mid-April.
Yep.
Sooner we get it
It's
in, the
not
better.
March, it's
Yeah,
April.
yeah, exactly. So
Put it
I'll
off
keep
our
you guys
plates.
updated, once, you'll be well aware
Yeah, I
of the
know.
process, yeah, exactly, so. So yeah, that's all I have
Okay.
to report.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you
You're
very
Great job.
much, John.
A lot of
Appreciate
good
that.
stuff today.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice
Okay.
job.
Any new business? Anyone? Anyone?
No.
No?
No.
Okay,
We're
no
good.
new business. Let's
Good.
schedule our next meeting. Oh boy, December's fun.
You know,
So we have, well, I don't think we're gonna do the 25th.
that
So
doesn't work for me.
I guess it would, if we wanted to try and
Joke,
squeeze
joke.
it in on the 18th, would be the third Wednesday. Does that work for
That works for-
everybody, or,
Let me look at my schedule.
hold on, I gotta check with Rich.
Where am I,
I
chopped liver?
think-
You're nobody.
You're nobody.
You're-
I don't
I know
care.
your schedule is clear.
I don't care. I need money. So,
Oh, yeah, I do have, no, I have CDAC on the 25th, so I think,
Well,
I don't wanna change my calendar.
you know what, you wanna do it on the 25th?
Yeah, we'll just do it on the 25th.
yeah.
Okay. Can we set up a Christmas tree? in
Yeah,
here,
we should
too?
bring presents.
We should bring presents for each other?
Yeah, I'll bring a
Alright, let's
Christmas
do,
tree.
let's do a
Menorah,
Christmas.
some of us, menorah. Yeah, come on.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
we
We
need
need one for the,
menorah.
I talked about having one in the park,
Yeah,
all inclusive here.
it's okay. Right.
All right, yeah, the
Alright,
18th.
the 18th. Alright, so we'll set the meeting for the 18th. At 4 o'clock. Okay. Alright, very good. Alright, do I have everybody's favorite motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Anyone wanna second that?
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Steve Bristol, aye.
Dan Thibodeau, aye.
James McCann, aye.
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Jeremy Olson, aye. The meeting is adjourned.